Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. And if you are new, my name is Barbara. I live in Tennessee in Zone 7B. And in this video, y'all, we at war. We are at war. The ants they're still here. Let's just say that they're still here. I don't think this is a new ant pile. I think this is an old ant pile, another one that we have found. And so if you're new, the last video, or one of the last videos that I did, I was planting out this space here, which is my high tunnel. And as I was getting ready to do some tomatoes in a particular row, I discovered an ant in that hole. But as we continue to move on, we discovered it was more than just in that hole. It was a big problem. And on that video, we got the victory over the ants. Well, I'm out here again today, and I was going to plant the second row of tomatoes when I dug again, and in another row, I saw some ants. And so let me show you what we've discovered so far. So we are doing the same thing. I dug in a couple of holes and saw ants. And so my husband decided to pull the paper back, just like we did on the other side, to see what we were working with. So he started to pull it back from the very top of it. And then he's trying to, I think this is in pieces. He's trying to find the other part where it's stapled so that he knows where to pull it up, because right where he's standing, a little bit in that section is where we think the ants stop. I was digging kind of towards the middle just to kind of test and see. So I'm removing the drip so that he can get the paper up, taking the staples out, and then he's going to pull up this paper so we can see where the ant trail begins and also where it ends. And here they are, just like before, except this space is much bigger than what we had on the other side. A much bigger space, and I think they've been here quite a bit longer. So now you can see, oh, you put some hot water in there? Mm-hmm. Okay, so my husband mixed the hot boiling water with the solution. In the solution it's about 98% water. I added some cayenne, some cinnamon, some vinegar, and some peppermint oil. All the things that they hate. And so I guess, what are you doing now? Like scraping? Oh, yeah, mixing it together. Oh, mixing it in so it'll kind of integrate and get on down in there. I guess that's what he's doing. This one is an even bigger one, or longer than the one that we had in the last video. The last video, it was probably about, if I had to guess, maybe 6 feet. And this is probably a good 20 feet, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, at least. About
20 feet. So he is mixing that stuff in to try to get some action here. Now in the South especially, there is always an issue with fire ants. And ants are not necessarily bad for your garden. They actually aerate the soil. So they tunnel underground, they build their little kingdoms, and it helps the nutrients to get to the soil and all that stuff. So they do have, I'm not going to say a purpose, but they're not necessarily bad. They are just a nuisance. And it is hard to plant when you have mounds and mounds of fire ants. And if you're like me, I am allergic. They love me and I hate them. And so you guys who've been following me, you know that whenever I see fire ants, I go the opposite direction. And it's been okay when they're just like in one little hole or in one corner of the bed or something like that. But when they start to take over, then we must take over. So that's kind of what we're doing now. So if you struggle with ants, again, you can learn right along with me. I have used diatomaceous earth, and diatomaceous earth works on contact. So if you're not familiar with that, the nickname they call it is DE. It is a food grade substance. It's actually made out of fossilized algae. And what happens is when the ants come in contact with the diatomaceous earth, it actually like breaks their exoskeleton, is what happens. But the diatomaceous earth has to come in contact with the ants. It's not going to prevent ants per se, but once the ants come in contact with it, that's when it starts to work. The downside of diatomaceous earth is that you have to continue to reapply it, especially if you're gardening outside and you have drip irrigation. It rains. If it gets wet, it is no longer active. It is void. So that is the thing with diatomaceous earth. And I think that is a good solution when you're dealing with something small. But the size of this right here, it would take us bags and bags of diatomaceous earth and to kill off this many ants. So we're going to do the exact same thing that we did with the last one. And again, it's been, let's see, 3 days since we dealt with the last ant pile. And even today when we looked, we still don't see any ants. So you could say, did those ants relocate from that first pile to this one? No, I think those ants were already here because I don't think they did that much damage in 3 days. Now, I do see some ants in my walkway, like in the center of the tunnel. I think those ants may have come from the pile that we disturbed. And those are just like few and far between, I think. I don't think it's a huge thing. But we got to get it fixed because, again, I got to be able to plant in this row. Again, one hole, not a big deal. I'm gonna let you rest in peace. But when you start taking over the whole garden, then we must be at war. Let me know in the comments what things that you guys have tried that have been successful with fire ants, especially if you've dealt with something on this large of a scale. Okay, guys, so the show must go on. So while we are concentrating on that section over there with the ants, I'm back over here on the left side. So just to kind of remind you, we have 2 rows of peppers that are already in, and then I'm focused on this last row. So I've already started and done that row up until the middle part. And so what I did down there were some jalapeno peppers, and then I did a couple of marigolds, and then some Ajvarsky peppers. So now I'm going to be putting cucumbers right in this space here. My husband just brought the trellis in. I need to see how long that trellis is so I know where to stop the cucumbers. But I think I'm going to do about 10 to 12 cucumbers, and that should be plenty good. So what I've been doing since we found the ants, I've been going through and digging the holes first and just digging it up before I plant the plant, so that way I can see if I have a problem before I get too far in. Making sure the hole is good. I've been seeing plenty of worms too, so that's always a good thing. And I'm like, if I had a worm for every ant I had, man, would my soil be fertile? So far, so good, which is great. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to get these cucumbers in the ground. So while I was planting cucumbers, my husband decided to let's go ahead and put up the trellis for the cucumbers since he was already out here, which is great. I had told him I needed it within 2 weeks because the cucumbers grow pretty fast. And once they get a little bit of size, you definitely want your cucumbers trellis. So we're putting some T-posts in the ground and using cattle panel. That's what we've done in the greenhouse for the last 3 to 4 years. And it always works pretty well. Cucumbers for me have been very easy to grow. It was one of the first crops I grew in my first garden back in 2020, and I had great success. I grew them outside in a raised bed outside of my house. So this year they will be in the greenhouse like they normally are, but I'm also contemplating putting some cucumbers outside in the outside garden. That's the only place that I have not planted them yet. So they've been in a raised bed in the back of my house. They've been in the greenhouse and they've done well. So the only area left that I haven't done is outside. So we may try that this year if we have some cucumbers left over. They should be fine. But I'm curious because that area gets a lot of direct sun outside. I'm curious to see how they will fare. And then you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I like to plant the same crop in multiple places. One, in case I have a crop failure in one location or is bombarded by insects, then I have it somewhere else. And then 2, to see where it performs the best. So I have the luxury that I have a lot of space that I can do that. But I encourage you, if you do have some multiple gardening spaces, try planting the same crop in a couple of different places so that you can see how well it works and how it performs in those different environments. Okay, y'all, so I got the cucumbers planted. I ended up doing 10, which is perfect for the trellis. So half of this row will be peppers and then the other half will be cucumbers. Now, this is what happened with my cucumbers. I only have one pack that I actually know which cucumber it is. I planted like 4 or 5 different kinds of cucumbers. I did the Katrina, which is specifically for the greenhouse. I did sashimi, I did straight 8, and Socrates. Those are the 4 that I did. Well, I was using the purple 72 cell tray from Bootstrap Farmer where the tags don't stay in. And so when I lifted up to get the plant out of the pot, all the tags fell. And so I know that they're cucumbers. I just don't know which variety, which really is a bummer because I really want the Katrina in here. And for all I know, I don't have the Katrina in here, and it might be in a pack that's going to be sold to somebody else. Because I have like, let me see, I think 18 cucumbers left. So I do have some for sale, but whatever I don't sell, I'm going to actually put outside probably. I haven't done cucumbers out here in the outside garden before, so I think I may do that. I've had them in the back of my house. They've always grown well. I would say that last year was probably our worst cucumber year. And when I say worst, meaning instead of me getting 100 a week, I got like maybe 60 a week. So it was still a good cucumber year, but compared to what I normally do, it was much, much slower, which is fine because we had plenty of cucumbers. But I do want to get the production up on the cucumbers because I have an idea that I'm going to use for them this summer. And so I want to make sure that I have enough. But you saw my husband, he's putting in the T-post for the trellis. So the trellis will just kind of be halfway. And so you definitely need a trellis if you're going to have your cucumbers because they are vining. Now you can also do a method called the umbrella method, which you kind of put some, have a conduit pipe up and then drop down some jute twine or something like that, and then string your cucumbers, and kind of similar to what we do with our tomatoes. You'll see that in the upcoming video, how we actually trellis our tomatoes in the greenhouse. We've been doing it that way for the last couple of years, and it works really, really great. But for the cucumbers, we always just use a trellis with a cattle panel trellis is what we do. So, and also, I got some more water boiling, but my husband said the activity over with the ants is already slowing down. So let's go take a look and check in on Ant Central. Okay, y'all, let me get you real close. And the activity has definitely slowed down. That's not a word. Slowed down. So sorry. Okay, we see some activity right there. Okay, they real busy right here. So, okay, y'all. Okay, you raising your hand? Oh, you want the next boiling water? Oh, don't worry. It's coming to you. It's coming to you. Okay, let's move on down here. Let's see. Little activity there. Yep, right in here. But I think this is, he's been concentrating over in this part, and that's where the activity has slowed down quite significantly in this little swath right here. But we got some ants raising their hands saying they want to be next. And so, I mean, who are we not to oblige? Right? Look at that. Look at that. You see a little baby egg cocoon? You can see the eggs there. Oh, yeah. Y'all about to go down. This group right here said they want some hot water. This group right here. You see them? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, okay. You got it. Don't even worry about it. Okay, so we boiled more ants and got more water boiling and solution made. So we're just kind of taking turns as the water comes to be hot. We just go over there and do that. But now we're back focusing on this. And now it's time to actually attach the cattle panel to the T-post. So I'm over here helping my husband. There is a clamp that you use to attach the T-post, and we have a little tool called the clip bender that makes it really, really easy for you to attach this that wire to the T-post. But my husband couldn't find it, so he's just using a pair of pliers while I'm holding up the first end. So like I said, I ended up doing, I think, 10 cucumbers. And so each panel I think is like maybe, I don't remember, 8 to 10 feet, something like that. So we end up putting 2 panels up, but it was just perfect for the space of the cucumbers that I had. And like I said, I've usually had very good production from the cucumbers, so I'm excited to see if these 10 will do us great. Plus, if I have some extra ones left over, I'm gonna put them outside. Okay, y'all, trellis is up. So even in the midst of ant wars, we were still able to be productive. So we have 10 cucumbers in the ground. I have probably 1, 2, maybe 6 or 7 spaces left that don't have anything in them. I will fill that in with peppers and flowers, and then that row will be completely done. But everything that we can do in ground has been done. We're just waiting on getting this ant situation under control, and we'll be able to do this last row. And then over here in the beds, I gotta bring some more peppers down here, and the beds will be done. So I need to fill up this bed some more. Right now, this is the spicy pepper bed. So we have some spicy peppers and some basil and some eggplant in here. And then this bed, I'm gonna add some more marigolds. And then this bed here is the non-spicy pepper bed. So I gotta bring some more non-spicy peppers down here. We'll do a couple of bales. I got some ajavarski in here now, and that'll mesh with the lettuce that's in here. So we gotta fill up that bed. And then this one is pretty much done, looking good, looking lush. You can see my chives have blossomed. Y'all, I bought this chives. You know, I've never been able to grow chives, but look at this here. Now, this is my first time having chives, and of course, my first time seeing the blossoms. Tell me, what can I still use the chives if it's blossomed? What can I do with it? Let me know, because this is my first time. And then this right here is going to be the pollinator patch. So along that row, I have lettuce. And then here I've planted some zinnias. I have a coleus in the corner. I also have some craspedia right there. And that is an ornamental grass right here called Frosted Explosion. So, and some nasturtiums in the back. So I'm going to fill up this bed with more flowers. I'm just waiting on my celosia and a couple other flowers to get a little bit bigger before I put them in here. And then this whole bed will be filled with flowers. So we are definitely getting there. And y'all, my snapdragons, they are so gorgeous. So gorgeous. How's the activity?
Oh, they're still, they get close, but they're still kind of busy.
Okay. Still kind of busy, he says. So we just did a last hot water boiling method. We probably did this, what, 7 times?
Yeah.
7 or 8, kind of like I did the last time. And then we're ending it with the cinnamon, vinegar, peppermint oil mixture. I just remembered I forgot to put peppermint oil in that batch, but that's okay. It has cinnamon, cayenne, water, vinegar. So
We'll see what happens by morning.
Yep. We'll come back out here and check on tomorrow. All in a day's work. Okay, guys. So I feel okay. We were able to get some stuff done. This planting the hot tunnel has taken much longer than anticipated because of this ant situation, but that's okay. We are working around it and getting stuff planted where we can. Next, when we move from here, we'll be moving out to the outside garden and getting that ready to plant. We have already started getting the space prepped and ready. You guys haven't seen that, so make sure that you stay tuned so that you can see that in an upcoming video, and you can see the preparation that we've done for that. And then we're going to have actually 2 planting parties this week. So if you're new here, my friends come and help me every year to plant the summer garden. And so I have 2 groups of people that are coming out here over the next week or so to help me get the garden planted. I will try to get as much footage as I can, but just know we are on the move. I hope that your gardens are going so well. I hope that I know that some of you have still not been able to plant because it's cold in your area, and so I am cheering you on. And I know what it feels like to wait and wait and wait. You're like, I want to put my stuff in the ground. Just hold on a little while longer. And for those who already have their stuff in the ground, I hope that it is going well. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of this community. Remember, gardening is a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time, friend.